I'll kick us off. Hey, welcome everybody to another night of Shawnee State Esports stuff. We got Smite tonight. We actually have 2 games of Smite tonight, so stick around for both. But we're excited, and then obviously once picks and bans start going off, we will be back. But until then, hang out, grab something to drink. Also, my name is Jake, and then with me tonight, do you want to introduce yourself, sir?
How y'all doing? It's Cannon Fodder. Happy to be here. Happy to watch some good Smite play tonight.
All right. Yep. So, all right, we will be back then here in just a couple minutes, so stay tuned.
And here we are getting into picks and bans for this first match. Starting off with the usual suspects coming out from both sides. SSU playing blue side, Michigan playing red. Now, let's see. Looks like the Persephone set ban coming out from SSU. Let's see what these Kukulon ban. Very and SSU just responds with a Scylla ban. These are very what we've seen coming through from both. Coming through from SSU. These bans are very telling, and we get Don Zabura first pick. Usually one of the more banned characters, just first pick gets picked up. That's interesting to see.
Definitely. The first ban coming out of Michigan was the Morrigan. Not quite sure why they banned it. They might have just not have wanted to play against it. As we see Michigan picking up Tsukiyomi and Guan Yu. Very strong picks for both of their roles. I know SSU, they were looking for that Don Zabura, so it's nice to see that they got it.
Let's see what we choose. We go with the Fafnir, maybe hovering it as a support. Fafnir does go through the lock, and the Ao Kong comes through too.
Definitely. I think we're probably going to see the Ao Kwang in the jungle, if I had to guess. He's just that's where you play him. He's not too strong anywhere else. We could maybe see him somewhere else. We will see as we look for Michigan's third pick.
And here they're going to go for the Sobek, so they're going to get their support on the board, and we're going to see what their second round of bans are going to be.
Yes, SSU probably looking to ban out carries and mid lane, whereas we're going to see Michigan probably banning solos or mids. So Michigan banning Giannis. Not quite sure where the Don Zabura is going to go. They probably assume it's going to go into carry, as SSU bans out Thoth into Michigan's ban of Changa, followed by a ban of Aphrodite. Very interesting bans. Not the usual bans I see out of SSU, but I don't hate them. I think they're all good, solid bans.
Yeah, it seems like they definitely know what this team is going to want to do. They may have some inside information on what the other team is going to want to do, and they're just trying to make sure that they can't do exactly that.
Absolutely. As we move into Michigan's fourth pick, they are, if I had to guess, probably going to pick their mid lane here, because that's what SSU prioritized banning were mids. So they're going to want to pick up their mid here, and they'll pick up their what looks like to be carry last. But I could be wrong. We'll see.
Yeah, it seems like these bands definitely put a little hamper, or it seems like they're taking their time, definitely going through every possibility they can hit on this pick, and it's going to be interesting to see what they pick, because they take the Rama.
Definitely, and they do. They pick the carry over the mid, as we see Osiris getting hovered for SSU and selected Osiris on her. Very strong picks. On her is probably going to go in the carry lane, if I had to guess, with Don Zaburo in the mid. And then Michigan looking for their last pick here. Very interesting team comps. SSU trying to familiarize themselves with a double hunter comps as of recently, and we will see them play it again like we did Saturday, another double hunter comp.
Speaking of hunter play, this on her is what was big last time we saw it. And it's I'm excited to see how this on her game plays out again, because the carry for SSU seems to just be better on it at all times.
Absolutely. It also their SSU's carry plays a lot of not joust, duel, so they're used to the one-on-one matchups, which helps them after the initial phase of having the support and carry. But once the support starts roaming, SSU's carry is just able to really poke out the enemy team with his knowledge of the 1v1 matchups just in general. as we see we saw Nuwa picked up from Michigan, gonna go into the mid lane. Hello. You can see my face. I didn't know we were switching panels. I'm sorry. It's fixing my hair. So yeah. Cannon, what do you think of these picks and bans going into the match?
You know, looking SSU again does prioritize that double hunter pick, and it seems like they're trying to definitely make that their style. It seemed to work real well last time they did it, so I want to see if the brain, I want to see if the man behind this madness that is double hunter is just transcended above us all and just knows something that we don't.
Definitely. I'm looking forward to seeing the double hunter action, and I'm curious how Michigan is going to play into the double hunter magic that SSU seems to be playing with.
As we looks like we're going to start loading in here, and the players are off, splitting to their respective places of the map where they're going to want to start. Going to want to make sure nothing too strange happens. No early planning, nothing. And for me, watching these games, I always enjoy watching the 1v1 lanes and the solos. And the matchup that we're going to see here is an interesting one. I know Guan Yu is kind of known for his just being all around good, but I've also seen the Osiris just come online at certain points, and it's definitely, I want to see how these impacts go down.
Definitely, the solo matchup's very interesting, with Osiris being having much more emphasis on his auto attacks, whereas Guan Yu's kind of just all around. His abilities are good. He's generally a healer with his one ability just heals him in the lane. But Osiris has the ability to counter the healing with his ultimate, which just nullifies all the healing. So it'll definitely be an interesting matchup seeing Emulus go against Princess Nut here in the solo lane. As we see everyone clear their buffs and start moving to lane.
You were right. The Danzabura is going to go into the new way on the mid lane. Now, this matchup should ideally favor the Danzabura, right? Or am I just making something up?
I would like to think it favors the Danzabura, but if Nuwa gets to late game, her ult can just be so effective for information, finding out where the opponent team is, as well as it's gotten a recent damage buff with some of the new items. So it'll definitely be something interesting to see. I think the Danzabura, however, overall is just better and going to be able to play into it a little better early. But as we see, if we get to late game, it might not scale as well. But I could be mistaken on that. We shall see as we see everyone doing their thing.
The duo lane took a little bit of a looks like a little bit of a trade, a little bit of a hurt. You can tell the Fafnir took a big brunt of the damage, but it is Fafnir. He'll just take it.
Definitely, you want to see the Fafnir taking more of the damage instead of the on her, because it is the support's job to die to try and save the carry, because the carry is so important for getting that damage done.
Like SSU may try to contest this duo lane as they're just going for their respective buff. Maybe not. I don't know.
The mid EXP camp, and they did manage to steal it from what I saw, as a little skirmish begins to go down.
Hobek is hurt. Fafnir's just running at him. The auto attacks land. Level up does hit. Fafnir does get his ability. Fafnir's going low though. Jumps out. Onher's still in the middle of him, and Fafnir takes the kill onto the Sobek.
Definitely a very strong engage there. As we're focusing on the little solo. We got Guan Yu kind of poking out Osiris here. So Guan definitely seems to have that early pressure against the Osiris. We're seeing he's just got overall a better wave clear than Osiris, especially with Osiris being such a auto attack focus. His abilities aren't as helpful for necessarily clearing the wave as Guan Yu's 3 is. It's just as well as Guan Yu's just his ability to heal up the lane, allowing him to just push it in, is really strong.
Definitely gives him this early, the ability to not have to wait around for the wave to crash, and can get the prio where needed is very big for this half of the map. It looks like as he looks like he goes and starts working on totem, and everyone else is just kind of doing their thing, farming. Fafnir does go to mid, but that's where support like to hang out most of the time, just kind of chill.
Yeah. They need just need to be able to get everyone on the map in case they need to do some saving or supporting, just making sure that their main carry is the mid laner, the jungler, the carry. They're just making sure that they don't die.
The interesting thing is the UMich Sobek is going to be late to meet them, and they're going to have this first. They're going to have what looks like a 3v2 in mid lane until Sobek arrives.
Definitely, as we see the skirmish go down. Tsukiyomi does manage to not avoid the execute from Dummy Slick, claiming our second blood of the fight. As everyone realizes this fight's over, we need to disperse because it's just, the fight's over, there's no need to push any further. But Sobek looking a little aggressive, trying to maybe pluck the Danzaburo out from under tower line.
You Michigan wants so bad to try to refrag that kill. They're going to go in on the Danzaburo. Takes a couple tower shots. Danzaburo falling real low. Stop so bad. Anyway is also hurt. Danzaburo gets out.
Barely manages to escape as the Nuwa goes down to archers, maybe? I'm not exactly sure. She looked safe, but
yeah, no.
It looked like she could have died to archers. I don't remember if Fafnir has any tick damage in his kit. As
he just comes from the back, comes from between the colors, but he pays with his life.
Yeah, very, maybe not the best rotation he could have made, but he just wanted to make something happen. The Guan Yu, and he tried his hardest. He did manage to get the Danzaburo, but that was about it, unfortunately. Which is it's gonna allow Osiris to just take the jungle of Michigan and just put them even further behind in farm.
Yeah, and that all comes off the back of just their support not being there when there are 3 mid. It's just the Fafnir was just better on the rotate and met them, and then they just had to make something happen there. They couldn't let the one kill go away, and they just got a little too greedy. Red team just got a little bit too much into it, as it looks like there will be a small fight going down on the Osiris. Osiris tries his best to get out.
He's just making his way back to his tower line. Knows that he can't do too much here, but he does recognize that his Ao Kuang and his Fafnir are on the way to help out.
Kuang falls low. It's like the Guan Yu is rotating. Osiris decides to come on back and help fight.
Definitely, but the Sobek managing to pick up the Ao Kuang. Definitely good play for trying to get their EXP and gold lead back a little bit from SSU being up 4-2 in kills, but the gold difference is only about 300, so it's not that big. It's definitely still a close game. We'll see how this what looks to be minor skirmish in mid goes down, trying to take the Guan Yu out, as he does manage to escape.
Looks like they're rotating for the Scorpion, one of the bigger Scorpions on the map.
Definitely. I'm not quite too sure why Michigan sent Guan Yu to help with the Scorpion. It could be because it's so early in the game and they just wanted him for extra damage, but that is just going to allow Osiris to get so much farm in his individual lane, as well as tower damage, which is a lot of pressure. And any additional tower damage you can get on early, it just helps out late game for being able to pass through the towers when you're getting to those late game pushes to get the Phoenixes and push to Titan.
Correct. It just allows, and it looks like as we say that, the on her just kills the jungler. Just
goes all in, takes out the Rama. The Rama, not much he could do. He probably could have tried to ult, but by the looks of it, his ult was on cooldown. I'm not sure why he didn't try to ult to buy time. Maybe just a misjudgment of what he can and can't do. As we do see on the mini map, or we see now Guan Yu trying to take the T1 tower in solo after Osiris rotating out of position, and he will manage to take the tower.
Let's take tower, and it looks like they're just going to have to not even try to fight him, not even test him. It looks like SSU is just giving a whole bunch of pressure everywhere, and I don't know if this is going to translate at all, or if they're just going to, they have something planned. They have, sometimes you have to give space to take it. So we'll see how this falls down, as it looks like they rotate for the Oracles and maybe Fury, but nah, they're gonna take the vision on it and get out.
Yeah, just get the Oracles, get out. Very quick, decisive decisions that need to be made as you see everyone kind of moseying their way around. Sobek getting a little aggressive in mid, maybe trying to look for something, but he doesn't really have anyone to back him up outside his Nuwa, so just decides to back off a little bit as Guan Yu looks to be not invading, but pushing up to the lane minions in over on Solo's side as he is forced to get out by Osiris. As we see a skirmish going down in mid, we see a Danzabura and Sobek ult come out of this.
Danzabura does land onto the Sobek, but the Sobek just tanks it and walks away, and but nothing of real value comes here. SSU was looking for something here. Fafnir's in the middle of all of them.
As we don't see all that much happening. A lot starting to actually happen now. Fafnir gets plucked, trying to get out, but is not going to be able to. As Rama goes in the air, tries to pull something off with his snipes, but is not exactly able to. We got a big stun, it looked like, out of the Guan Yu ult, allowing the Nuat to pick up Flake, as SSU's just needs to retreat and get out of there after an unfortunate fight for around the enemy's red buff, which is going to allow Michigan to just basically take the Gold Fury for free.
Yeah, and that fight just seemed, it seemed all over the place, and it also didn't. It seems like University of Michigan just kind of waited for the engage, and SSU kind of just overstepped their bounds just a little bit. They were limit testing, and it just nothing big came out of it. And as the gold lead and the kill lead comes closer and closer.
Definitely.
Fafnir jumps mid, trying to make sure the new way doesn't just crash wave. And
definitely, he's trying to right now stall lane for Danza to come in, but he realizes that Danza needs to go clear his red buff, and he's gonna have to just let the little minions go into tower and get beat up by the tower for a little bit. As Danza finally making his way to mid.
Like, Sobek is getting a little brave here.
He's getting
gonna try and do some damage.
Forced to dash out.
And I think that as Osiris and Guan Yu try to fight over the totem, they're gonna have a little skirmish.
A little skirmish, poking each other's health, trading back and forth.
Osiris has just got to get out. Guan Yu just has so much sustain just to make sure he's the one out first. Rama does go into the air. Comes down. There's a big fight. New Way hits Danzabura.
Yeah, that Nuwa ult just able to secure such low health opponents. As Alquan trying to make something happen and claim the Tsukiyomi, but is unable to.
2-for-2 trade. Fafnir's caught out between two of them. And Ronker's just trying to get out. Fafnir will die here just so his carry can get out. Maybe not. Maybe he gets out.
Maybe not. Maybe he gets out. We saw Osiris come in with a big ult, trying to make sure that Michigan doesn't get any more off of that 2-for-2 trade.
Such a nice save from that Osiris just to come in and burn the ult so they're Fafnir to do that. Big save, good communication of just, hey, this needs to happen, and it gets done.
Definitely. As we see Guan Yu deciding to take oracles for Michigan. Will he manage to? He will. And we see maybe a setup for the Greater Scorpion over on the right-hand side with Sobek and Nua doing it.
Like, we also have one more show up.
Yeah, do manage to do the Greater Scorpion as Ao Kwang here, maybe looking a little out of position. We'll see what he can do. Does manage to get out, thankfully.
Thunderbird does show up. Can they lock down the Sobek enough is the question here. They're going to do a 2v2 mid lane.
Sobek looking not too hot with health, but he is a Sobek, so he's going to choose to back, though. He just doesn't want to risk dying. Knows this is better. Because we see Anhur and Rama poking each other out a little bit, maybe over in left as Rama does back off. Got another fight going down in mid, trying to get the Tsukiyomi, and they does manage to hit the Danza ult as he also finishes up and managed to take out the Tsukiyomi, while Nua does use her ult to try and just get a little poke, wait for Sobek to come in and try and make something happen.
And while they're matching that mid lane, Anhur, the Ao Kwang rotates and meets the Anhur, and they just kill the Rama, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ao Kwang again, just killing the new way, and Fafnir going big. They're attempting to do something. It looks like SSU is. They want this kill. They want this tower. They want something to happen here onto the Sobek, and the stun CC comes through.
They will manage to get the Sobek, and they're probably going to take this T1 tower. A very big series of events for Shawnee, especially with the Ao Kwang making excellent rotations, being able to pick up both the Rama and the Nua with two very well-placed ganks.
And, you know, something to look at, you know, watching SSU's game is that if we're looking at supports, the Fafnir has 5 kills. You know, that watching Lord Love play is the essence of I needed it. As Guan Yu tries to fight Osiris, Guan Yu's just going all in on Osiris. Osiris actually blinks away.
Manages to barely make it out, but make it out alive he does, which is just gonna make Michigan all the more just a little irritated, being like, dang it, we could have made something happen, but we didn't, as we do see a game pause come in, which is I'm guessing we're just gonna be here, we're gonna analyze. So we take a look at the map. We got Danzabura pushing in mid on her, just back by his void buff as Osiris is forced to back. So like, got it. You need to see someone on Michigan DC, but it looks like based on the map, the next objective we're going to be fighting over is probably the Primal Fury on the left side of the map. So I would be looking to see setups over there soon. The other option is Pyromancer. That could be an option, and that could be why we see both Ao Kwang and Fafnir on the minimap over on the right side. But taking a look at Michigan, Guan Yu super pushed up. Not necessarily out of position because he's got minions there, but if he's not careful, he might be able to go down. That could be the other reason we see Fafnir so close to blue. He could be looking to try and maybe stall out this Guan Yu while he waits for Ao Kwang and Osiris to come back to pick up a kill. Also for Michigan, Rama just chilling back by his purple, basically mirroring on her. But Nua coming to probably counter push the Danzaburo. Not too much going to happen there as Sobek is back, and we see the Tsukiyomi going towards Michigan's blue buff, it appears. Probably going to try and secure that. And then he also, the Tsukiyomi, might be able to try and help out the Guan Yu if a skirmish does manage to go down in right lane.
Definitely. I think this, you know, this next objective coming up, it's going to be an important secure, you know, for this first half. And I don't know. I would like to see a cleaner engage. It seems like SSU's engages have been somewhat, you know, in and out, and they haven't been wanting to go too in when it comes to team fighting. And it just seems like, you know, the bigger ultimates and the bigger, you know, AoE damage and the picks from the new way and the sniping damage where the Rama can just hit you. You know, it seems like there's a bunch more condensed damage when they go for these engages, and it just seems to be messing with us. You know, there's a lot of pick potential, a lot of stuff that can happen on this next engage. So I'm excited to see what comes out into this next fight as we are We still have the DC. We're still waiting for one of University of Michigan's players to reconnect.
Definitely. Yeah, I agree. I would love to see SSU maybe get a little more cleaner fights. Not that their fights aren't necessarily not clean, but they're like not as clean as they could be. Like if you just take a look at the fight back near the red buff where SSU lost 2 or 3 of their members, and I think Michigan only lost 1, if any. It's just like small things like those. Like you want to see SSU be like concise on what they're doing and want to make sure they're being as impactful as they can. Whereas like the one, as like a lot of fights they've won have been because as we get going here have been because Michigan just kind of hasn't been there. They've been like a little scattered, and SSU's just managed to be grouped at the right time.
They're just catching the engages and just a little bit off. As that's like a collapse does come through onto the new way. Stun comes through. Al Kong shows up, and they're going for it.
SSU not managing to pick anyone off as they do rotate back towards the Primal Fury. Looks like we're going to see a big fight here. Who manages to pick up the Primal Fury will be seen shortly.
Guan Yu was just kind of a little footsie game with the Donza Bird just trying not to get engaged on as Fafnir jumps in, hits the silence onto the Guan Yu.
Definitely.
Fafnir goes big, and
just Fafnir keeps going on the Guan Yu as Michigan kind of just keeps backing off. Donzabura ults in on the Rama, manages to just barely miss, it looked like.
There's just a lot, high group, and Fafnir is again just back in there trying just to get the CC big chains.
Definitely.
Donzabura takes out the Sobek. New goes into the area.
Slick takes out the Guan Yu as Osiris just kind of chases down the Nuwa, gets her, as Slick also managing to pick up Rama.
And we get the first deicide I have been graced to see come through this. That was a perfect engage, perfect fight from SSU. We were talking about how it looked a little sloppy, and it was playing a little weird, and there it's cast or curse in reverse, if you will. They knew what they had to do, and they definitely cleaned that up there. That's going to be a lot of progression everywhere. They're going to have these big pushes. I think they're just going to go for they're ready for Pyromancer here?
They are going to go for Pyromancer here as we see Slick just work on taking Michigan's jungle over on the left side as he manages to take down both the Pyromancer and the Primal Fury off that, going to give them a very strong gold lead as well as a very slight XP lead too. It's going to be very strong going into the later game of the match, say probably late game, as we see a lot of the players catching up to around level 15 or so.
Yeah, and it just that was still just such a good fight. They SSU was going in, the Fafnir is hitting the disarms, hitting the silences, hitting the stuns as he needs to, and then just getting out again. It was a very measured fight, very very good, and they knew what they had to do. They didn't overchase, they didn't try to start something that they couldn't finish. Very very clean macro play right there.
Very nice and calculated by SSU. What we want to be seeing out of them, and it shows. They improved from their one fight near red buff and made this previous one work. As we see a Converge in mid lane trying to take out the Nuwa.
That's like now they're re-engaging on Nuwa. Nuwa doesn't go down.
She tried to try and ult for safety, but it was sadly not as enough as Flake manages to solo the Rama over on Duo side.
And then Honor gets the kill and decides, you know what, I need more. Shows up, starts walking through him.
Exactly. Dummy Slick does go down, but Flake manages to pick up Pies of Doom as they look to take down the T2 tower.
And Guan Yu doesn't give the deicide, kind of BM, but we'll accept it because he's going to try and defend this Phoenix.
Not much he can do to defend the Phoenix, being a 4v1. He does try his hardest, but he loses both the Phoenix and his life, unfortunately, as SSU just looks to back off. Maybe they might try to look at Fire Giant, but looking at the respawn timers on Michigan's side, they might wait for Fire Giant. We will see.
They're definitely going to take the jungle on the retreat, try to make sure that they can scalp a little XP UMich Michigan is going to try to go for. And then they're all just going to back, reset, and get set up for we'll maybe see a Fire Giant this next OBJ they're going to fight over, or they may try to catch someone out, you know?
My guess is we're going to see the next engage definitely will happen around the Fire Giant. We see what looks like will be Gold Fury coming back up. So Gold Fury is not as important as Fire Giant, so that's where our next engage is going to be seen, especially with SSU has Fire minions pushing up mid because they managed to take that Phoenix. So they definitely have the pressure, as well as they have so many of their towers up and everything. As we just kind of passively wait for the Fire Giant fight to happen in time.
They're reading the map. The Rama will have to. The Rama is quite a bit away if this fight just go down here, but he could always just go into the air and try to do some snipping damage. As it looks like University of Michigan just kind of doesn't contest.
They don't contest because they know there's not a whole lot they can do. They just have such a small experience differential. Will they tell the Rama just keep pushing out, get as much farm as you can before we need you, because SSU is just, they're so big now with almost a 10k gold lead and very strong commanding EXP lead, as SSU probably looking not to end here but to siege another Phoenix, and they probably will manage to take it while Rama trying to split push and take a Phoenix for Michigan. We'll see what happens as we see SSU engages, trying to take the Phoenix down.
Duel comes out. The Tsukiyomi is just dashing through everyone. Damage on two, but on her is again
not managed to make it out on her. Cleans him up as Guan Yu trying to make something happen here. Does is forced to retreat as we see the SSU go back in as Rama does claim one of SSU's Phoenixes, but the Guan Yu does go down to Dummy Slick, and SSU manages to claim one of Michigan's Phoenixes as well. They possibly are looking to end here too. It's a 5v2 in at the Titan. There's not going to be a whole lot Michigan can do. Rama is going to try, but Null Chaos, the new does manage to take out Emulus, but it's just not enough as hype as they managed to take out the Titan.
I'm lost for words of just how SSU just decides, you know what, we're done playing this match. Let's just go next. We're done. We're gonna push for the end. You know, your carry may be in our back line, trying to make us feel like we've got to get back, but no, we're done. We want to go next, and so they just decide it's game. You know, they end it with a pretty commanding lead, and that's 1-0 SSU. And that's just
definitely
such big, watching these guys play baffles me. It makes it's just they make some things just I'm just speechless watching that end.
Absolutely, it was great play coming out of SSU that allowed them to. They took the fights they needed to. They won the fights they needed to, and when it came down to it, they were like, "This is the end game, and this is where we end the game." So they ended the game when they needed to, and it was very clean. Good work out of SSU as we move into the next match, which should be coming up shortly.
I'm excited to see what's coming up next. I want to see if the Madman Twins has more of these duo hunters. But before we get in the next draft, take a little break. We'll be back and we'll discuss. We'll see what's going to happen. Welcome back to the second game pick and ban draft phase. As Morgan and Set again just taken off the map. SSU will be playing red side. UMich playing blue. Pretty standard bans what we've seen. The UMich seems to highly prioritize this Morgan, and they followed up with the Donzabur after that last dominating performance.
Definitely, as SSU comes in banning the Scylla, knowing they don't want to play against a Scylla, especially if she is able to scale into late game. Very strong god. Just SSU doesn't want to deal with them. I kind of expected actually the Donzabur ban out of Michigan, especially after seeing the last match. It was just probably too much of an issue for them, especially with Donzabur being such a strong and annoying god to play against a lot of the times from experience. Is a very justified ban in my eyes.
Definitely, they're thinking they may do the Donzabur again mid lane, and we don't want to see that. But maybe we'll see some other hunters mid lane. The man behind that madness is just baffles me, as they also target the on her.
They target out the on her as SSU answers back with the Kakulin, knowing they don't want to fight into that in solo. As Michigan will pick up Apollo for their carry lane. Apollo, very strong. He's got a global ultimate, which allows him to rotate extremely easily. As we look to see what SSU is going to pick up. Heimdall.
Heimdall and Guan Yu.
Definitely. Two very strong picks. Heimdall has kind of fallen off since his debut, but he's still really strong, able to multitask, can be thrown all around a couple of different roles. And Guan Yu, just a fantastic solo laner all around. SSU realizing that's what they want. They don't want to play against it again, as we look to see Michigan, what they will pick up.
I mean, SSU just thinking if you can't beat them, join them. We'll take the Guan Yu.
Exactly.
Let's see what UMich wants to take here. Do they want to match a solo pick, or are they gonna and then take something. They're definitely thinking. They're definitely mulling it over. I don't know. This Heimdall may play into the greater scheme of wanting to play double hunter. It's definitely interesting to see how Michigan's going to read this draft.
Definitely a little concerned Michigan taking their time with their picks, but they are running out of time to pick. I don't expect them to not pick, but it's just going to put more pressure on them for their ban phase on the second half and their pick phase on the second half, as well as coming out of UMichigan. We see the Hunbots and the Sobek picking up their support and their jungler, knowing that they're strong, and SSU picking up the Fafnir again, realizing that they really enjoyed playing it last game and are going to play it again. As for bans, SSU banning out Osiris, knowing they don't want that to fight into Guan Yu. Michigan banning out the Cupid, and SSU finishing out their bans with an Aphrodite, knowing that they are not ready to deal with healing on the enemy team. Michigan's final ban going to be an Izanami, as we see Michigan look to pick up, not Michigan, as we see SSU look to pick up their fourth god. My guess is they're probably going to pick their either their mid lane or their carry lane, depending on where the Heimdall goes. Could go either way.
What I see from the last set of bans from UMichigan is that they aren't sure if the Heimdall is going to be carry or not. They're still thinking, something may come out here. So, interesting way to read that. Let's see if SSU is going to commit or if they're going to, throw a little plane out the window. Maybe have a backup. See what they're going to do here. And the Ao Kwong does come out.
We see the Ao Kwong again. So far, SSU's comp looking kind of similar to last game. They got flexibility with the Heimdall, as we will see the Wukong hover over Michigan. Probably, if I had to guess, they're going to select it and fight into the Guan Yu. Wukong, really strong, has a lot of survivability with his passive as he is selected, as we see Giannis also picked up for Michigan, a very strong mid laner, as SSU picks up Ho Yi to finish out the picks and ban phase.
This, Michigan tried. They really did try to read that draft, and SSU just kind of decided we're still going to. SSU decides we're still going to do what we want to do. We're gonna take our people where we need them to be, and this is definitely something.
Definitely. They did read that the Heimdall would probably go to mid, as we will see. As we will not actually, they tried to read the Heimdall going to mid, but the Heimdall actually going to carry, going to flank, as we will see a Ho Yi mid. So very interesting comp. We will see how it plays out. I'm interested to see how the Guan Yu into Wukong matchup plays out, because Wukong, he doesn't have necessarily the healing to sustain, but his passive allows him, when he's under 30% HP, he gets extra protections, just giving him the extra survivability, which may help him out against the Guan. But Guan Yu, just his sustain is really up there and really strong. We will it'll be an interesting matchup to see. I'm especially curious to see how the Heimdall versus Apollo plays out, because I haven't seen this matchup happen before in any of my matches, so it'll be definitely interesting to see.
I definitely want to see Heimdall. Little known fact about myself, I absolutely love mythology. That's why I love the game. Watching these two pantheons fight, it's just from a perspective of a person. It's interesting, but also this game, I want to see who just outdoes it. Heimdall, very, very good character who does a lot of things that you want a carry to do. The ult just takes someone out of a fight. It's a very big, just pick potential or just getting someone out. I definitely want to see how these lane matchups go as everyone rolls out of spawn to their respective places and get set up.
Definitely.
Fafnir's going to limit test, kind of step into there, kind of step close, make sure he knows what's going where. Nothing too strange is going to be happening. Backs off just to get back to his buff.
Indeed, especially the ward, being able to see what the both the or not the word, the vision shard that he places is going to allow him to see what the Hoi and the Giannis are building to give them an idea of what they need to look for and play against in the early phase of the game when they eventually get to lane.
As they are about to do just that, step out, Factory drops purple for his carry, and they get right to it. As now, I just early fight. I don't think either team really wants to take early fight, especially with these double hunters. We've seen SSU doesn't want to take earlies extremely early at least. These comps seem to be more about just the raw damage you meet in the mid game. It's definitely interesting to see how this plays out into the UMich comp this time around.
Absolutely, as we see SSU get a little bit pushed back in the duo lane, and looks like SSU gonna go for oracles early. Well, Michigan looks for the right side mid experience camp. Very interesting. They both go their separate ways and get what they will, as we see duo lane continue to skirmish, as well as solo lane. A little bit of health trading going on between the Guan Yu and the Sun Wukong.
Seems like they just had to have a little lovers quarrel around Scorpion. Making sure no one gets away too undamaged. As it looks like Hunbats is going towards duo lane, just kind of making sure nothing can bake havoc in here. If Heimdall or Fafnir wants to overstep, he's there.
Yeah. Sobek tries to pluck the Fafnir, just barely misses, as we will see him take a fair amount of poke damage from both the Heimdall and the Fafnir.
Fafnir is just, making sure that Sobek steps up, but Fafnir just, Lord Lud's Fafnir has just been looking so good in these past couple games. He just knows what needs to happen. It just seems like he's, better. It seems like a lot of times. And as the fight goes down, pull this come on. Fafnir and Heimdall get plucked, and they're just gonna take the damage and walk away.
Just gonna back off, realizing that they are not in the proper position to necessarily fight that, as we will see Guan Yu having to back under tower a little bit. Sun Wukong just has the far superior clear to him, but he does have the sustain, so I don't imagine him backing anytime soon, as both Fafnir and Sobek in the duo lane get extremely low in health.
Hoi is coming through onto the Apollo. Apollo's caught out. Sobek is also trying to run for his life. Heimdall's onto him, and that's a dual lane goes down to the rotate from mid.
Yeah, definitely. A very shocking rotate. I would have much more have expected a rotate coming out of the Ao Kuang, with the rotate that came out of the Hoi. Very unexpected, and probably threw Michigan a little bit for a loop, which might not have helped, and gave SSU just a slight advantage, allowing them to claim both first blood and the second kill of the game. Going to give them a very slight gold lead, but never discount a gold lead, as well as the EXP lead they'll get off of it, as when Twins returns, able to get a gank alongside Ao Kuang, taking out the Giannis, but Hunbots is right there to come in and make sure that only one of them makes it out and not both of them, making the kill count 1-3 in favor of Shawnee.
That is big to give the solo laning, for mostly solo laning carry just that much more gold as he hits that rotate and gets the one kill, and then comes back and he decides, I'm going to get another one. I needed this one. And just takes up two. It's so big for this mid lane. This mid lane fight, mid lane pressure, as it looks like they're going to try to go in on the Sobek here.
Definitely.
Sobek dashes out. Jonathan's portal hits two, and they call it mute. They call it mute there. They don't want to deal with anyone, and they don't want anyone to have to deal with them.
Yep. As we see Heimdall poking out the Apollo a little bit, forcing Apollo to hide under tower.
And Heimdall looks like he's making sure if Apollo does something, he doesn't get away with it. He's keeping this Apollo in check.
Definitely, as well as making sure he's warning his jungle in case a rotation comes out of which we do see a rotation right now coming out of the Sobek trying to pluck the Heimdall, just barely misses as Fafnir is now on the Apollo, forcing both carries to back away and the supports to just walk right past each other as they go back to their respective sides.
While that's going down, the Ho Yi again just takes another kill. It's just Ho Yi's just farming this team as Apollo falls low, Fafnir's going in, Fafnir goes big, and Apollo ults out, but he still goes down.
Still goes down to some form of dot damage as we did see. I think we saw briefly. There was an invade on the solo side towards SSU, trying to take advantage of the one lane that they're neutral in. Michigan is.
Someone's on the Sun Wukong.
We see Wukong over here in duo. Very surprising as we see Wukong will go down from a surprising rotation out of him, and now we're going to just see a collapse on what looks to be the Sobek. And he will go down as well as the Giannis probably just needs to get himself out of there and let SSU take down the Greater Scorpion.
You know, that's it comes to it. They kill the Apollo. The Apollo is like, hey, I need help over here. They send the Sun Wukong. They just kill the Sun Wukong too. They don't. SSU doesn't care. They're here to get killed. They need to get these carries ahead, and that's just what they're going to do. They're going to set them up and just let the damage happen.
Yeah.
As they're looks like just gonna posture again here, trying to find not want to take too much fight as a little bit of a fight goes down in solo lane. They want to trade health, make sure no one gets out of this too healthy.
Exactly. Just both sides after such a important engage in the match, deciding we gotta go back farm a little bit. We'll be fine. As we see the Sun Wukong get a little aggressive over here on solo side, as well as the mid lane and Lord Lud on the Fafnir is going to come in and with the help of the you just delete the Giannis's health.
And again, this comes back to just Lord Lud's ability to do the supporting he needs, but also just to get the kills. As his catchphrase. If Lord Lud had a catchphrase as like a plushie, which I would of course buy. Lord Lud is just a man after my own heart. It would just say needed that because you may want to give these carries the kills, but Lud needs them more. He definitely needs them more for this. Just because he does, we don't question his ability to carry. As they send 3 over, as UMich sends 3 over to solo lane. It looks like they're setting up to do the Scorpion.
Yeah, they're gonna do the Greater Scorpion. While SSU on the other side just gonna take the Gold Fury for free.
They're gonna walk. Looks like Apollo is ulting.
Apollo ulting for the Vision. There's not going to be a whole lot he can do, though. He does not necessarily have his team near, and just decides to ult back to his Void, his purple buff, and take it. As we see the Hunbot manages to go on the Ho Yi, and Giannis's ult just finishes him, trying to make something out of the Gold Fury loss Michigan is. But
yeah, they take a net loss on taking the Scorpion over the Fury, and it's just they're trying their darndest to get back into this fight as Ao Kuang just runs down the Janus.
Definitely gets him in execute range and manages to get the execute off, taking the Giannis out as he just looks to go and just get out, knowing he got the pick and is now just needs to go back to farming.
SSU is living by this. You take 1, we'll take 2, and every kill that UMich scrapes out, gets away with barely. SSU says, and we'll take ours too, and just comes and refrags, and it's really big here because they extend this. The gold lead not too big, not like a 2K gold lead, but the kill lead and the ability to get all this pressure where it needs to be is just massive.
Definitely.
Looks like Fafnir is just not wanting the Apollo to be where he is. Fafnir trying to get this deep vision, getting all over the place, making sure that he knows what's going to happen.
Absolutely. trying to look for not necessarily a tower dive, but maybe look for an invade on the purple buff when it comes up.
He is a little bit out of position. There are 3 running for him, but they're not even going to try to catch him. They know the lethality. As they go for the Heimdall gets out. It seems like Michigan just can't find a target to stick on if they're going to engage with that, and they're just kind of pressuring everyone away. As like a 3-man group, but Sun Wukong is just deep in. The other comes through. He does get out.
Going, and he's trying to make something happen in the mid lane, but he's not gonna sadly manage to make anything happen as Flake manages with his Heimdall to take out the Apollo. As we will see a rotation come out of Heimdall here.
Hunbat's refrags out Kong, so it's a 1-for-1 trade. But again, Heimdall just takes out. Heimdall just slays. This ADC is big. Just always doing just pure damage comes out from SSU's carry, and it's starting to show here. As it looks like Hunbats is trying to do something. Sobek goes into tower range, but Sobek just dies.
Sobek does manage to go down as will SSU will manage to take down the tier 1 tower in mid lane.
It seems like from a constructor point, Michigan is just trying to make things happen, and it's not working. They're trying a bit too hard. They're trying to heavily get themselves back in this game, and they're neglecting, all the space that's been given up as Sun Wukong goes for the fight on Guan Yu.
Definitely.
Hunbats comes for the rotate onto the Guan Yu, and SSU does destroy Pyro.
SSU gets Pyro, forcing the Guan Yu to ult out. The Hunbats does is Wukong does a little bit of a tower dive to try and secure the Guan Yu kill, but just unable to by the slightest amount as he makes it out. And as we saw as that was going down, SSU managed to pick up the Pyromancer, which is going to be very huge, and it's just going to extend their gold and EXP lead by ever so slightly.
It looks like Sun Wukong gets himself somewhat caught between turrets as he tries to get out, but they realize it's not worth it. It's not worth to go for the kill as a fight starts to stack mid lane.
Definitely. We see Giannis on his last legs as Hody just leaps on him and says, "Nope, you're not getting out."
After hits the stun under the Sobek as Hunbats does show up, but they are down the tier 1 turret, so there is a little bit more fight range for SSU on this side.
Definitely.
Way back.
The Apollo split pushing left lane, not able to get that much off as Flake just with his Heimdall just it happened. He's not allowing the Apollo any breathing room and just extending his lead.
Hunbats and Sobek try to show up. He just kills the Hunbats. This man doesn't care. Factor's going to show up to try to save him. I think he may finally die. But no, Heimdall survives. Flank is just this, the CC lands on the Sobek's dead here. Sobek's just
unable to do a lot as we do get a 1-for-1 trade over on the solo side trading the Sun Wukong for the Ao Huang.
I don't even know this man's up 7 kills. He just Flank is they try to target I think from now on the enemy teams need to ban every possible ADC and draft fully like this thing seems to be able to play anything. It's Apollo ults in for the Fury. Doesn't get anything off of it.
And he manages to barely escape ?
No, Heimdall just gets it.
Heimdall just says, "Nope, you're out of here, buddy. Go home, Apollo. You
tried your best. Here's your sticker, man. You as a great poet once said, sometimes you try your best and you don't succeed. It's just risky play doesn't really pay off, and it just increases the gold going into the pocket of Heimdall.
Yeah, we will see just passive plays. We see Guan Yu maybe looking to fight the Sun Wukong over on solo side.
Definitely do have a little exchange right outside of the Sun Wukong's turret, but Guan Yu just doesn't really care. I'm just gonna take the beating and call it even. As he tries to shove Wave in here again. He may be setting up just to bust this turret. The turret is fairly low, and if Sun Wukong doesn't, if Sun Wukong loses this fight or doesn't get anything in exchange, it's going to be big. But as looks like Hunbats is maybe on his, Hunbats is on as they try to stack the duo.
Trying to look at maybe taking Flake out, but Flake just pulls the Hunbots into nowhere as he just destroys the Hunbots when he comes back. But before that, the Apollo just can't find his legs. He's like,
and here comes the Giannis. Let's see Giannis and Sobek.
Giannis is just enough to take Flake out.
Flake can't take the 1v5, the 1v4. No,
but Flake's death does tell SSU that their team is not close enough to Fire Giant, and it's just gonna give Red Team Fire Giant and take out the Sun Wukong, who tries to steal it but just unable to. Doesn't have quite enough damage.
As it looks like they may try to push this turret all the way that they can, as UMich just is trying to hold the bleeding in everywhere else.
Yeah.
4 people are going to try to crush this duo turret. Sobek is waiting. Solo turret.
They're just gonna take the turret and rotate to mid to take the second T2 tower. Probably, or not. They actually might backtrack and take down Pyromancer as it just comes back up. And that is what they will do.
2 big objectives as Heimdall is still just farming away, waiting to have to take on 4 of them again, mentally preparing himself for that fight, as it'll probably happen. As they all just split up, go back, spend the money they got from those pushes, and we'll see what comes next.
Definitely, as we see Heimdall here looking to maybe try and cut off the Apollo, but Apollo dashes out, and that's gonna be the end of that little engage. Is Houyi trying to make something happen in mid, but there's 3 of them there, and not gonna let any shenanigans go down like they have been letting in duo.
Yeah, it seems like UMich has just kind of been like they realize they have to go for the Heimdall, but they also go for the Heimdall one at a time. The old stereotypical fight. As Apollo gets caught out, and here they go. If you want the Heimdall, the Hunbats and the Sobek, they are trying for him. Sun goes on. Heimdall sends Sobek off to who knows where.
Sends him off to Niflheim. As Sobek comes back and doesn't even have a chance to live, as they take down the tier 2 tower and probably push for Phoenix here, knowing that it's a 5v3.
It is SSU. I wouldn't be surprised if they just go for the end here. I surprised if they just they take it. Yeah, no. They're probably should go for the end here, aren't they? It is SSU.
It looks like they are, and they're definitely able to. The only people coming up are the Sobek and the Hunbots, and the Hunbots isn't even that much of an issue. They just need to make sure they keep Ao Kwang and Heimdall alive as twins on his Houyi, just bullying out the Apollo, getting that final kill on the kill feed as the game ends.
That game was that was definitely something. I'm definitely big on watching macro play, but just watching the Heimdall have to essentially 4v1, because that's all they can do to try to stop him, is amazing to me.
Definitely, just the Heimdall got so far ahead, and there was only so much Michigan could do against the Heimdall. But once again, there's only so much you can do, and even sometimes the most you can do isn't always enough. And it just led into a snowball fest for SSU, as they got the Fire Giant and just ran down the both side lanes, claiming all the tier 2 towers, and they got the 2 picks on the duo tier 2 tower, and just able to push that to the end.
Definitely, SSU seems like they have a thing for just ending, and they don't want the game to drag out any longer than it has to. They can get to it, and they're just going to end the match. it's definitely interesting to watch. Very good plays from. We will be back shortly with an interview from one of these majestic players, but that'll be in a hot minute. So we'll see you then. Welcome back. We have two of our majestic players here with Lord Ludd and Dummy Slick. How y'all feeling after that game?
It feels good to end the season on a high note. Much better than the last way we ended the season, and not even sure the season's over. That might have qualified us for playoffs. I'm not sure if it's top 8 or top 16. If it's top 16, we're in. If it's top 8, sadly, that was the last game for the Invitational.
Man, that definitely would be tough. How are you feeling, Slick?
After that one, feeling pretty good. Not gonna lie. I thought it was gonna be a flashback to last game. Wherever I would dive in, I just get everything dumped on me and I die instantly. But today, it felt pretty good going in.
Definitely looked like you were just having the time of your life, getting the executes off where you could. I mean, you're just in and out.
Yeah,
it's all over. So, I have to ask, how did it feel to have 4 hunters banned against you?
Man, I feel like that speaks more to our drafting style more than anything else. We knew what we wanted. Again, this isn't even the first time we ran it, but ever since Ben suggested it, and we see it work so well, we're just like, we're gonna keep doing this. We kept doing it, and man, even respect Ben, it just shows how strong that comp is.
Definitely, the man, Ludd, you're definitely on my top, my top man for this team. But the transcended man behind the double hunter comp is slowly working his way up there.
He's a smart guy.
He's definitely something. Ronan, you have any big questions you want to ask these two fine gentlemen?
The double hunter comp, do you think it's better than the traditional comp, or do you think the traditional comp is still better?
Oh man, that's a hard question. I think the only reason it's working really well right now is because Aokwang, in my opinion, is really good, and Protector of the Jungle is really good. As soon as those items get nerfed, it'll be far worse, and probably won't work. But right now, it works well because we can abuse a lot of easy things right now with items and gods.
Gotcha.
Well, another thing, I brought it up in the broadcast, but would you ever think about Lud? Would you ever think about making plushies with your catchphrase "I needed it" that comes out when you pull a string?
Wait, who told you that? Who told you that? Because I would just go, needed it, and I keep going.
Yeah, because
when I got the kill.
Watching those scorelines at those games is something else. Because usually your support's the one taking the damage or doing the CC, but then just the "I needed it" comes flying in dragon form, and it's amazing to watch.
I mean, 2 of those kills were so weird. One Apollo's flying away, dies to my dot, and the new one just dying in mid because of minions. I was like, wait, huh? Wait, she's dead?
Yeah.
She's dead. Okay, cool.
That threw us for a loop too. We just, it's like, I guess Fafnir has a dot. We weren't completely sure of.
Fafnir ult does, but she died to minions, and I got credited for the kill.
Needed it.
Needed it.
Needed it. I need to be above. In reality, the mid laner exists to give me farm because I cannot clear. That is all he is there for.
I see SSU is decided just to transcend the game's norms and just farm their, they're just so transcended that they can just farm their support and just win. Another question: why is Flank so good? That's the question I've got to ask.
He just bullied that Apollo so bad last match. We felt bad for that Apollo.
There were so many times where I'd say, like, we're looking at an objective on his side of the map, and I'd say, hey, I'm coming to kill him, or I'm coming to help, and then I would be halfway there, and he'd just be dead, and I was like, oh, okay.
Time to do objective, I guess. I mean, Flake, we got transitioned to ADC earlier this semester, and he's picked it up really well. And I think in general the team is playing very well with Ben in mid, and Slick in jungle more so than last season when Slick was solo and Ben was jungle. I think they're more comfortable in these positions, honestly.
Definitely, and it seems like Twins has definitely grown into playing the hunters where needed, and when it comes to those mid lane fights, I see too. It seemed like he was having the time of his life with you need him on.
For a long time, we were thinking of having him ADC and have Blake still in mid, and then we swapped it. So I'm kind of happy we did swap it, and he did get the practice on the hunters that he needed. Definitely,
it looks like you've kind of found your groove, and let's hope you do make it into playoffs.
That'd be great. I'd love to. The way we're going, we are playing literally the best we've ever played. RIT Saturday, they beat us. They beat us last year. Michigan were beating us in scrims, and we absolutely rolled them both games. And I couldn't be prouder of the way this team has improved and come together just for these final few games.
Definitely, it seems like you've made strides, leaps and bounds. Anything y'all want to say before we have to close this session short? Anything you want to bring up?
We got a Smite Invitational coming up on the 20th. I believe we have 8 teams signed up for it right now. We're hoping to get some more in. Gonna be a real fun event. Hopefully, it will be streamed. I think most of the matches will be streamed. So come out and watch. It'll be a fun time.
Definitely sounds like a blast. Slick, anything from you?
I'm just glad that Eye of the Jungle is good, because if not, I would not be able to play Ao Kuang. I'm just the jungle maid in Eye of the Jungle world at the moment. So
I feel that. One last parting thought: is a facial hair part of being having to play for Smite? And when do I get my application in?
Wait, hang on. Blake has facial. Yeah, everyone I think has facial. Ronan doesn't. Ronan's fine. Ronan doesn't have facial hair.
Oh man.
I don't think Shrimp does either. But
there goes my
facial hair is a very important thing for us Smiters.
Yeah.
And there goes my chance. All right. Well, thank you both for being here. You want to go ahead and give your parting words?
If this is the end of the season, that means I just have the Smite Invitational left, and I couldn't be happier for the 3 years I've spent with SSU Smite. And if you asked me if I was gonna ever do this again, if I through all the hardships we had, all the losing, coming that close to championships, I'd do it again, 100%.
Definitely, it seemed to be an experience. Well, thank you both for being here, and we'll talk to y'all later.
All right, have a good one.
Well, as you've heard, we good things are to come if this team gets into playoffs. We're hyped to see what's going to happen. What's going to, and if it's the end for this run, I can say they're probably going to end. They're going to end on a high note. They're happy where they've played. They have one more set to go through, and then we'll see what happens at the Invitational. My Invitational is coming up. We're hoping they just run through it like they've been running through this tournament.
Absolutely.
There'll be one more game after this, because of some conflicting things. One more set, and that'll be the end of the Redbird Invitational. We will return with that.